GTV crew, salute. What's good, guys? Yo, today we'll be hearing a slightly lower tone J, cause yes, your boy just come back from work, so I'm a more relaxed and chill J right now. You know what I'm saying? We can't be making loud noise at night, you feel me? So we gotta keep it shh. So probably turn up your volumes. I'm gonna try to do my best on the audio side of things while we watch this video. And the reason why I've chosen to do this video, cause I know there's hella lot of, or quite a few, you know what I'm saying, Filipinos in this channel, simply cause I've done reactions to like TNT boys from the Philippines. I've done Morissette, which is wow, she's wonderful, man. She's something special out there, promising hot prospect for the future, if she already isn't. And just like Chile, no one requested it, I just done it out of my own kind heart. I just thought some of y'all would want to see this type video, so it's me showing my love back to y'all, you know what I'm saying, me wanting to get more of the Filipino side. But first family crew, let's get straight in. So,
you don't know anything about Asia. The Philippines is like the
hope y'all can hear it.
jolliest of them all. They're just happy, fun, jolly people. And
you know what? It's been 3 years. I'm not taking this anymore. I've been pushed around, I've been threatened, I've been thrown in the dungeon, I've been the butt of all the jokes. I'm the Filipino one. This is my time. My time! Ah!
Oh shoot, bro. You knocked him the hell out.
Welcome.
I like the edits though, it's improved, man.
My turn.
Hey, okay. Soon be Portugal's turn, bruh. Turn up. Can't wait for that.
Hey everyone, I'm Ken, and as you know, I'm half Filipino. Years ago, I was looking for a job and I saw this ad asking for a motion graphics animator on Craigslist. Paul and I literally met up at a Jollibee for my interview. He said I was his top 3 candidates.
In reality, there were only 3 candidates that applied, so technically I didn't lie, but yeah, the other 2 people kind of sucked, so yeah.
Oh, and back then, I had this weird mustache and Paul's hair was basically this thing.
Ken and I have been talking for a long time, and we agreed Ken definitely
Hey, but Paul, man, your shape up looking better in this video though, man. Keep it up.
has to be in this episode. If you've come so far from that Craigslist Jollibee interview, you've earned this.
Gone a long way, bro.
Magsimula. The Philippines is an interesting country because there's sort of a dichotomy between labels. If you ask a Filipino if they consider themselves Asian or Pacific Islanders, you might get contrasting answers.
What do you consider yourself, Ken?
I always thought Pacific Islanders sounded kind of cool, so I usually stuck with that. So first of all,
the Philippines is a tropical archipelago of over 7,000 islands, about 2,000 of which are inhabited, and it is the largest island nation without any land borders or shared island territory with another nation.
Like
the country is located in Southeast Asia, straddling the Philippine Sea in the north, the South China Sea in the west, and the Sulu and Celebes Sea in the south.
Just a skip away lies the island of Borneo, which is split amongst 3 nations. The closest point only about 22 miles or 40 kilometers.
So the weather must be good in freaking Philippines, man. Somewhat
now, in
every
general,
day,
many people will refer to one of the 3 main island cluster regions that people are a part of. There are Luzon in the north, where you can find the capital Manila, and where the half of the population lives, Visayas in the center, and Mindanao in the south.
Otherwise, the nation is made up of 17 regions, one of which is autonomous, the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region of Muslim.
Low-key almost looks like the UK kind of drawn out there, bro. That was wild.
Mindanao, this place has a high level of self-rule and autonomy appointed by the government. We'll explain more about this later.
If you want to be absolutely technical, Quezon City, a bit north of Manila, is the largest city in the Philippines. However, the surrounding 16 towns and cities by Manila are called Manila Metro, or the national...
That's wild. You even have a Venezuela up in there? That's nuts, man.
Capital region. And they basically act as one unit.
Otherwise, the largest city outside of the NCR are Davao City in Mindanao and Cebu in the Visayas.
Manila has the largest and busiest airport, Ninoy Aquino International Airport, which is basically the hub that services the entire NCR. They also have the...
By the way, which island do y'all recommend? Hit me down below.
Busiest shipping port at the port.
I love nature, man.
Otherwise, the second largest airport is Cebu Mactan International, and rounding up for 3rd place is Davao City Francisco Bangoy International.
In terms of land transport, though, the Philippines is well connected amongst the islands. In fact, the longest highway is the Pan-Philippine Highway that stretches about 3,500 kilometers across the country and connects Luzon, Samar, and Mindanao with underground tunnels connecting them.
Finally, the Philippines has only 2 territorial disputes.
Bro, y'all could have just showed us a better image or a video clip of that, man. That sounds so interesting. Low-key, that sounds like the Keys in LA, bro.
State of Sabah in Malaysia on North Borneo.
Ooh.
Territory once had been part of the Sultanate of Sulu, a Muslim state that existed the 15th century to the 20th century, and that's a whole other story.
As for the other dispute, as we mentioned quite a few times already, this whole area known as the Spratly Islands is a complete mess.
So
if you don't know anything about this place, it basically goes like this.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Oh, man. Bro, like, quit with the shouting, man. I'm trying to keep it low-key here, blood.
Map showing what everyone claims in the area. This big one right here is China's. Like, yeah, they just kind of pretty much went for all of it.
This has even led to a few skirmishes between nations that have built patrol stations on the island. And when they spot a ship that gets too close, things can get kind of ugly.
It's kind of like this.
Hey, what are you doing? This is my area.
I'm just doing some fishing and research here, you know?
Why do you have a shovel then? Are you building something? Or?
Well, technically there's no land protruding from this reef, so there's no land claim.
So you're just gonna build your own land?
For research.
Anyway, here are some notable...
I've seen quite a few of those. I don't know if it's in the Philippines regional side, but wasn't China like getting like those big ships and just putting sand in the middle of some sea, and it's like they're creating an army base on that ish, and they're having a little dispute, I think, with the USA or some, bro. Too much politics, man. I try to stay out of that, man.
Lots of interest.
Fort
That's what
Santiago,
it sounded like,
Magellan's
though.
Cross,
San Agustin Church,
Sagada Hanging Coffins,
Aguinaldo Shrine,
Cebu's Philippine Taoist Temple,
Shrine of Mama Mary in Tagaytay,
the Lapu-Lapu Shrine,
Luneta Park,
MacArthur Landing Site,
Bunawi Rice Terraces,
the
Whoa.
Malacanang Palace,
No, hold up, man. You're going too fast for my liking, man.
Lapu-Lapu Shrine,
Luneta Park,
MacArthur Landing Site,
Bunawi.
Oh, that looks beautiful, man. That is my type of vibe. That is definitely me. Where is that located? Bro, what? Like,
Rice Terraces.
the Malacanang Palace,
Vigan has many historical and colonial buildings,
the various national museums of history and arts,
tons of amusement parks,
and that's not even including all the natural wonders of the Philippines. They have an underground river,
the most amazing, beautiful beaches in the universe.
hills that look like lumps of chocolate,
And there's an island in a lake, in an island, in a lake,
Hold
in an
up,
island.
bro. What? I
They have
apologize, yo.
an underground river,
The most amazing, beautiful beaches in the universe.
hills
I apologize, yo, but this looks unreal, man. It looks like some wallpaper in your background, like someone just drew a picture and just did it, man. It's like someone just drew an art picture or something. Wow, that's unique, man. That's the first time I've seen such a rare beauty in my life. Wow.
that look like lumps of chocolate.
And there's an island in a lake, in an island, in a lake, in an island.
We should hang out sometime.
Yeah, when you have 7,000 tropical islands on a volcanic archipelago, chances are things can get pretty crazy landscape-wise. Which brings us to... The actual physical land of the Philippines is the biggest treasure you will find here for sure. Anyway, the Philippines lies on the Ring of Fire and is specifically on a tectonic plate named after them, the Philippine Plate.
And about 95% of the land is made up of the 11 largest islands.
The country was essentially formed through the tectonic activity between the Philippine, Manila, and the Mindanao Trenches, the Mindanao being the second deepest in the world.
This makes the country susceptible to small earthquakes and minor volcanic activity.
About 53 active volcanoes can be found in all of these largest islands, except for Palawan. The most famous and picturesque
Are they
of
active,
these
though?
include these three.
See this island here, Camiguin? It actually has more volcanoes than towns on it, 7 versus 5, making it the place with the most number of volcanoes per square kilometer in the world.
In fact, the tallest peak in the Philippines is a potentially active volcano, Mount Apo, located in the South Mindanao area.
The country has numerous mountain ranges and highlands that dip into the fertile valleys, the largest range being the Cordillera Range in the North Luzon area, hooking into the Sierra Madre Range on the east side, which feeds the longest river of the country, the Cagayan, that flows into the Cagayan Valley.
This valley, along with the Central Luzon Valley, are the largest arable croplands and produce nearly all of the rice in the Philippines.
The Visayas are known for growing the most sugarcane, whereas Mindanao specializes heavy in coconut and fruit production.
And that's good, man. Your country's got everything in different islands. That's really nice to see, man. Reminds me of my island, Loki.
Back in Luzon, though, you can find the largest lake in the country, Lake Laguna de Bay, which is actually in the caldera of a dormant volcano.
The lake has a weird detached island called Talim and is actually drained.
A lake and a volcano. That reminds me of the Azores, man. They got that Set Cidade. I've seen some which means 7 cities, I think. I've seen some images on Google. That looks beautiful, man. This is what exactly it just reminded me, man. Some of y'all ain't seen that ish, man. Google it. It looks beautiful. I'm trying to hit that ish up too, man. You know
by
what
the
I'm saying?
Pasig River that flows through the capital Manila.
And finally, the country is the heart of typhoon territory. They can come at almost any time of the year. The nation will experience on average about 20 of the turbulent storms annually, which often flood to their many river systems. But yeah, if
I hope it keeps destruction to a minimal, man. That's very frequent. That's scary too, man.
anything, Filipinos are the most cyclone adapted people on earth.
Hey, what?
The water has always been
My guy's still going to work. He's literally almost drowning. Hey man, you guys are like guerreros, man. Out you.
Did their thing. Swimming,
Well done.
sailing, fishing.
Just not exactly.
It's like when your parents say to you, "You gotta go school today." You still had to go to school, man. You couldn't skip that issue.
Quite diving into it.
Otherwise, the Philippines is one of the 17 mega diverse nations on Earth.
They actually have the largest level of marine biodiversity in the world within their waters and the highest rate of animal discovery on the planet, with
Dang.
16 new mammal species that were discovered in the past decade alone.
They have everything.
Looks like Philippines is doing something, promising something good for the future, man. I like that.
From
The longest snake in the
Looking
world, the
good.
reticulated python.
the largest
something
fish in the
right.
world, whale sharks.
7 of the 8 known species of giant clam are found in the Philippines.
The world's smallest hoofed animal, the Philippine mouse deer.
And their national bird is the largest
Yeah.
eagle in the world.
Economically speaking, the Philippines is considered a newly industrialized nation. It is transitioning out of becoming an agricultural-based system to a service and manufacturing-based one. They have like 3 of the top 10 largest malls on Earth.
Ooh, just you wait. I'm taking the top spot soon.
They're one of the fastest growing economies in
sleep,
Asia and has
yo.
the 34th largest
Shit.
economy in the world. Their GDP purchasing power parity has surpassed the $2 trillion mark.
Basically, the Philippines is definitely becoming a key power
My
player
bad.
in the world stage. It's like,
We're so rich! Wealth and prosperity!
someday. For what it's worth though, mining, fishing, and agriculture are strong industries as well. They are currently the world's largest nickel and abaca or manila hemp producers and the second largest coconut producer after Indonesia.
Tourism,
Oh.
though, is another important industry, taking
Hella
up
big,
about
man.
8% of their GDP, employing over 3 million people.
And now, food! Now in the Philippines, every region has their own specialty and culinary strange.
Yeah, every dish looks like a fairy exploded.
Do y'all eat a lot of like spice? I'm just guessing, man. I like spice.
Lots of dishes you could eat kumakain kamay, or eat with your hands.
Yeah, pretty much everything has rice, and then you're gonna get a lot of grease and salt and vinegar and a lot of like, I don't care if that looks like it goes there or not, I'm still gonna eat it anyway. Right, Ken?
Yeah, that's Filipino food.
Yeah.
There's really no official national dish, but 3 meals that are well known for are adobo, lumpia,
Ooh.
and sinigang.
Oh,
And
definitely
in the
look like
non-Muslim
something
parts,
nowadays.
lechon is a huge deal.
There are also dishes like
Damn.
Tagalog steak.
Nice, man.
tinola,
Pancit
Ooh,
luglug,
I'd
Kare-kare.
say yesterday.
60,
tapsilong,
balut,
kinilaw.
What is
a
what?
huge deal.
There are also dishes like
Tagalog steak,
tinola,
pancit luglug,
kare-kare,
60,
tapsilong.
You went too fast, homie. Fertilized dog egg. What the hell? Oh my gosh. Well, you just drink it? Is it boiled? Wow, okay.
Lut.
Kinilaw.
And my favorite
You have to be brave, man. Couldn't do it.
Filipino dish, palabok. Just put some nice little lemon juice on it. I actually got this at Jollibee. If you don't know what Jollibee is, it's like the most popular fast food chain in the Philippines. It's like if McDonald's and KFC adopted a Filipino baby and they even
Yo.
added spaghetti to their menu for some reason.
Otherwise, Filipinos are
Why
dessert experts. They love their ube everything, ube ice cream, ube bread, ube
Ube.
pie, ube cakes.
Oh, they also have like
That all looks delicious, but I've never had a ube.
sapin, and cassava
Is it
cake.
sweet?
Those are the best desserts in my opinion.
They also have halo-halo, leche flan, turon, buko pandan, and puto. What you call me? If you're either Latin American or Spanish, you may notice some of those foods are also found in Latin cuisine. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, we'll explain that in... Now, only in the Philippines can you find people that have Spanish names, speak English, celebrate in Austronesian culture, and cook Chinese.
General MacArthur once said, "Give me
That's
1,000
unique, man.
Filipino soldiers and I will conquer the world."
Yeah, for some reason, Filipinos are like the best friends of Asia. Filipinos still have the best attitudes and smiles. They even give time off felony sentences if the prisoners volunteer to take part in a Michael Jackson dance performance to the public.
What?
But we're
the-
getting ahead of ourselves. First, the graph. The country is about 110 million people and is the 8th most populated country in Asia and the 12th most populated country in the world.
There are about 175 ethno-linguistic people groups in the Philippines,
My bad, yo. Hold up. My bad, yo. Battery was about to die.
the majority of whose languages are Austronesian.
Of these groups, the largest ones are the Tagalog at about 28%, 13% are Cebuano, 9% are Ilocano, and 8% are Bisaya. The rest are made up of other groups plus a small minority of non-native citizens, mostly Asians and Americans.
I guess that Philippines is a very safe place. I wonder where it ranks in the Asian, rankings.
It's important to note, though, that the Philippines has about 10.2 million people overseas worldwide. It is one of the largest diaspora populations, spanning over 100 countries. The U.S. alone has about 4 million.
I mean, they were at one point colonized by the US, so go figure.
They use the Filipino peso as their currency, they use the types A, B, and C plug outlets, and they drive on the right side of the road.
Oh, and keep in mind the word Pinoy is synonymous with something that is Filipino. You might see that used a lot.
Now back to the ethnic groups thing. Since there are over 175 of them, you would think, how do they all come Communicate.
Well, the Philippines has two official languages. English, which makes it the fifth most English-speaking nation on earth, and Filipino, which is the standardized version of Tagalog.
Okay.
The Philippine Tagalog language spoken today is a very different from pure Tagalog. It actually
would have
has
been
about 14% Spanish, 10% Malay, and 7% English mixed into it with a slew of other borrowed loanwords.
Let's hear a
You can see the
preview.
influence in words like pintalador, guapo, zapatos, and familia.
Spanish,
Often,
yeah.
Filipinos will substitute an F with a P,
Or a V with a B.
or a V with a B.
Yeah, same with Koreans actually.
Hey, that's the same with Cape Verdeans too. The V turns out to be a B.
Yeah.
Shout
High
out
five
to Cape
with
Verdeans out
minimal
there, bro.
consonants.
Yay!
Oh, and fun fact, Ken taught me this. In Tagalog, you can actually say an entire conversation just using the syllable ba. For example,
Ba, ba ba, ba ba, ba ba ba, ba 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 ba, ba, ba 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 ba,
For real?
ba
ba, ba 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 ba.
ba, ba ba.
Well, that was fun. Otherwise, in the science and
Look,
Mindanao
bro,
areas,
don't do me like that, bro. Don't do me like that. I'm trying to keep it low key, man.
Cebuano is a
Shit.
common language, as well as the other regional tongues like
Way
Waray
off.
and Daboeno.
They even have the only
Derail.
Spanish-based Creole in Asia, Chabacano, located in Zamboanga City. Now, the Philippines is unique in that over a past few centuries, they've gone through three periods that shape their identity.
Before European intervention, the Philippines has had a multitude of early civilizations that built kingdoms and dynasties like the Tondo, the Namayan, the Pangasinan, and the Sulu Sultanate.
Many of these kingdoms had their own indigenous writing system, such as the Babayan, Buhid, Eskayan, and Kulitan.
Genetically, Filipinos are classified as belonging to the broader Austronesian people group, with their closest cousins being the Micronesians, like the Mariana Islanders, Guam, and Palau.
Although over the years, many people have mixed, and today it is speculated that somewhere around 1/5 or more of the population may have some kind of Chinese ancestry. After the Spanish came in, they adopted many of the customs, traditions, and cultural traits which have Spanish roots. Their own country is named after Spanish King Philip. The biggest trait, though, would be the fact that they are predominantly Catholic, at about 81% of the
Okay.
population adhering to the faith.
The rest are mostly Protestant, with a small Muslim minority in the South Mindanao area.
The Philippines is the largest Christian nation in Asia, fifth largest Christian nation on earth, and third largest
Damn.
Catholic nation after Brazil and Mexico.
They have so many holidays and festivals devoted to Catholic themes, like All Saints Day, Holy Week, and Easter, and of course, the largest one, Christmas.
The Philippines has the longest Christmas season out of anywhere else on earth.
Okay, so now we're just gonna
Looking all
rapid
lit,
fire
man.
a list of 12 fun cultural facts for the Philippines.
Filipinos have a ton of superstitions. For example, whistling at night will turn you into a werewolf.
For formal occasions, you may see
I know those
Filipinos
ones.
wearing traditional barongs for men and Maria Clara or mestiza dresses for women.
There are many other traditional costumes and customs for the other 170 ethnic groups. Too many to cover, but it goes everywhere from feathers, coconut fibers, hair dresses, tribal tattoos, and so on.
And just to go back slightly, it just popped into my head randomly, you know what I'm saying, so I apologize. When you was talking about food, do y'all mainly place your food on the tables and not on plates? Like, no disrespect, I'm just wondering, car, my nan, so basically my dad's mom, like, they grew up on, you know, my nan would put like I don't know, like a type, like a little tablecloth type of ish, which sounds weird, but place food on there, like it could be meat, could be whatever, and everyone just takes it one by their own hands and just eat off that all together as a family, you know what I'm saying, because they used to have big families and that's how they used to grow up on. So that type of style, and I think I saw there, I'm not too sure, but yeah, it just came into my mind now, so some connection we have going on here, man.
Speaking of which, the Philippines dominates major international beauty pageants with a grand total of 15 victories at the Miss Universe, Miss World, Miss International, and Miss Earth competitions.
Basketball and boxing are the most popular sport by far. They have the oldest basketball league in Asia and the second oldest in the world after the United States. And come on, we all know Pacquiao.
The Philippines is the leading nation to train and export nurses abroad. It's been said at one point, every Filipino has their should I just drop everything and become a nurse moment in their life crisis.
That's a fact. I've had those. And the word balikbayan means returner or returning family. It is used when someone comes back from expat work abroad.
You might hear the honorific title of po or opal for elders, and a lot of people often raise the backs of the hands of their elders to their forehead as a sign of respect and say, bless.
In the Philippines,
I like
you have
that,
your
man.
name
I
and you
like
have your
that.
Pinoy nickname. And they get really weird and creative.
I mess
Pepsi,
with that.
Bing Bong, Jelly Boy, Pinky, Bum Bum,
Jelly
and
Boy,
Earl.
what?
Every Filipino on every island in every region can tell you Filipinos are obsessed with karaoke. The first karaoke machine was actually patented by a Filipino, Roberto del Rosario, even though some Japanese dude invented it, but he patented it.
Obviously, that means music is a big deal in the Philippines. Besides taking modern cues from American pop, they also have traditional style. Instruments include things like gudyapi, gilitang, Silang, Gimbal, Kubing, and Tongali.
In addition, there are many different styles of dance, but the most famous one considered the national dance is tinikling, a dance done between two pairs of perpendicular bamboo poles that are clapped together as percussion
man,
tools,
look at
and the
that.
dancers must weave their feet in and out in the
What?
spaces before getting hit or tripped.
That looks
on a bit of a
entertaining,
war,
though. I go
we
cat.
do have to talk about some of the controversies.
Damn, I want to
Philippines is
see that
beautiful, but if
live.
you've been
Like,
keeping up with
oh,
current events,
shoot.
they do have their fair share of issues that have made headlines. We don't sugarcoat everything here.
Human trafficking,
You know what I'm
whether it's the
saying?
sex industry, slavery, or organ smuggling, has been a problem in certain areas. And even though
Organ
anti-trafficking
smuggling?
acts have been passed by the government, enforcement has not always been on par.
The drug trade has also been a major inconvenience for decades, affecting
Organ
millions of
smuggling.
people in the
Damn, you
country.
still got me
This
on
has
that.
led to the new controversial laws instituted by President Duarte, which encouraged the public to seek bounty in exchange for hunting down drug pushers. Many have died in the process.
And finally, you have the Moro conflict, an insurgency in the predominantly Muslim Mindanao region, which sought to take parts of eastern Malaysia and break away through conflict. The fight has been going on for nearly half a century, and now it's just ending at the turn of the 21st century.
Kind of.
For what it's worth, though, in the Philippines,
Kind
everyone
of.
is family at the end. You don't have to be related to
That's
anyone
good.
to call someone ate or kuya. There's even a word, bayanihan, which means something like helping one another through community spirit without expecting anything in return. In any case,
That's
we
me
gotta
showing
finish
you the
off the
love,
segment
man.
with history.
Austronesians.
Tribal kingdoms and sultanates.
This guy came to the islands.
Catholicism comes in.
Lapu-Lapu and Magellan dies in battle.
5 Spanish dudes followed through.
They finally become a colony of Spain.
The galleon trade.
British Philippines.
And then back to Spain. The Treaty of Paris.
Philippine Revolution.
The Spanish-American War.
First Philippine Republic. Philippine-American War.
American occupation.
World War II, Japan invades.
American pushes them back.
What?
Finally, Philippine independence.
Ferdinand Marcos turns from president to dictator.
Martial law.
This guy gets killed because he was against the regime.
People Power Revolution in 1986.
Growth from agricultural society to an industrial one.
And here we are today. And now we finish off with the notable famous people condensed. Some famous people you guys, the Pinoy geography suggested we mention in this episode include
Lapu-Lapu.
Bro, Ken really gotta take a breather, man, when he's talking with shit.
Jose Rizal. These
Breathe,
two
boy,
saints.
breathe.
Melchora Aquino.
Manuel L. Quezon.
Lacan Dula. Josefa Yanes Escoda. And Vicente Lim.
Carlos Peña Romulo.
And all the Miss Universe winners. And there's a ton of Americans with Filipino or partial Filipino descent.
Enrique
Yeah, you see
Iglesias,
the
you
rest of
know.
American Filipinos. Those two get
You know
along pretty
that.
tight.
We'll explain more on how that happened in the long history in the Philippines being colonized by 2 major Western powerhouses. It would make sense that it would have ties with the outside world in many different ways.
For friends, the Philippines is generally close with all the ASEAN
Doesn't that so look like the mapping out of the UK? Wow, that's wild. man.
nations and does great business with them, particularly Indonesia and Malaysia, their closest neighbors.
The Marshall Islands, Palau, and the federal states of Micronesia are all cousin countries, many of which have Filipino migrants
Never heard of the Marshall Islands, for real.
in them. And they all share the same history of being former U.S. territories and U.S. influenced states.
Of course, Spain will always be in the back of their minds as the former colonizer that they gained much influence from. Although Filipinos are not considered Latino, the Spanish and many Latin Americans kind of see them as like the adopted Asians that totally fit in their family. It's like, come on, you're Catholic, you eat flan, every 5th word you speak is Spanish, you're basically one of us.
Interestingly enough, the relationship with Mexico has historically been always strong. The Philippines was ruled under a
Didn't expect that, you
Mexico-based
know.
viceroyalty
That got
of
me.
New Spain. The
Yeah.
Manila galleons were Spanish trading ships, which for 2.5 centuries linked the Philippines with Mexico across the Pacific
Okay.
Ocean, making 1 or 2 round-trip voyages per year between the ports of Acapulco and Manila. And Mexican traditions were brought in like the Day of the Dead and Champorado.
When it comes to their
Oh,
best
for
friends,
real?
however, most Filipinos
That's
would
wild.
probably say, even though colonial years were a little bit bumpy, ultimately the USA and South Korea.
South Korea was one of their closest best friends from the 20th century on. World War II really bonded with them after the Japanese occupation years, and they supported each other diplomatically.
Koreans are the top #1 tourist demographic that visit the Philippines. Koreans kind of admire the fact that even though they were both influenced by the US, Filipinos speak better English, whereas Filipinos practically obsess over Korean products and media.
Us!
And that's why we're...
For the USA, ties were close ever since they became their colony in 1898. The US also had the largest number of overseas Filipinos at over 4 million, most of whom live on the West Coast states like Hawaii and California.
Hey, that's lit, man. Roots, Hawaii, you know what I'm saying? Love them, bro. I need to go visit that up too, man. California.
Are one of the oldest Asian partners of the US. They have a mutual defense treaty, and they are the largest export partner and second largest import after China.
American pop culture dominates much of the youth influence. Hollywood studios love filming there, and Gallup polls have shown that the USA is favored on average by over 90% of the people asked, making it one of the most pro-American countries on the planet. And Ken, you take the conclusion.
In conclusion, if you enter a room full of Asians, you definitely know who the Filipinos are. While everyone's so uptight, we're the ones singing karaoke and somersaulting. You can just feel the energy of a Filipino. There's a touch of Latin flavor with American pop undertones. But in the end, no matter what island, you're immediately considered part of the Pinoy family.
Ken, you're one of my best friends. I love you, man. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. Stay tuned. Poland is coming up next.
Geography now, Philippines. Now that was very informative. There's a lot going on in the Philippines, a lot in just under 20 minutes. But I hope y'all enjoyed that video. It's a little something from me to y'all for being so kind and supporting your boy and being so appreciative. So I thought I'd just go out my own way and show love differently, you know. Now there is other videos that I will be doing to geography now, like after Poland I'm taking with Portugal, we'll be hitting that up. We'll be hitting up UK and USA, but if there's any others that you would like me to check out, hit up the comment section, baby, and I'll see y'all real soon. I gotta pack up, car, I'm finna be going to Wales. I'll see y'all in the vlog after that, more reactions. But hit me down below as well if you any music reactions y'all want me to do. I'll save your request and I'll hit it up as soon as I'm back in the next few days. And I apologize as well if the audio was a bit low, you know what I'm saying. I'm doing this low key, I'm trying to get as much videos as I can out there to entertain y'all. So you know what I'm saying, it just came at a time where everyone's, you know, at home sleeping, so I had to do this low key. Hopefully the audio was a-okay and you could hear this clearly. If not, I do apologize on my behalf. But family crew, I'll see y'all real soon. Have a good week and I'll see you in the next upload.